Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to your weekly focus. How are you guys doing this morning? Hey, just wanted to let you know that I got caught off a little off guard this morning. So I set a timer about 10 minutes ago to go off to remind me to go live, right? And so I usually set a 2-minute timer and you get to see that going. And I'm just sitting here just kind of, looking at my notes and thinking about the call. And next thing you know, I realize, man, we've got to go live. I'm already late. So, welcome everybody. We're super excited that you're part of our weekly focus. For those of you that have been joining me each and every week, did you know that today is episode 71 on the weekly focus? So, all really excited about that because that kind of ties into our topic today. We're going to talk a little bit about momentum and building momentum over time to help you produce the results that you're looking for in every aspect of life. So the theme for today is momentum matters, small steps, big progress, and lasting change. So for those of you that are new to the weekly focus, I just want to let you first off say welcome. We're super excited you found your way to us. This is a live interactive call. We do it every Friday at 10 o'clock. And the theme of our podcast is to really help you each and every week focus in on those things that will impact your life or the lives of people around you because of the progress that you're making. And so it's about the little things we do each and every day that we focus in that produce the energy, that produce the action, and ultimately results that improve our life. And so it's all about organizing your life around the things that matter most. This is an interactive call, by the way. And so if you want, feel free to drop in the comments where you're coming in from. And while we're going through our live broadcast, and this is the benefit of being with us live, is you get to communicate with me during our podcast. So if you drop in a comment, I can see it. Many times I'll bring those comments in on screen. And I love it. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so Ria is with us this morning. Super excited about that. And again, it gives me a chance to interact with each and every one of you. So here's another one that's near and dear to my heart. Denise coming in from El Dorado Hills. Actually, she's coming in from downstairs, right, honey? So always love it when the fans are close, if you will. And I always value every time we get a chance to come together. So please, during our broadcast today, please be interactive. That helps me have energy, and my energy creates momentum. Okay, so that ties right into our topic this morning, and I'm going to get right to it. And because I think it's such an important, especially with the New Year's, we've been talking a lot about goal setting. Last week, we talked about vision boards and visualizing what it is you want to create. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about kind of what the next steps might be in terms of creating momentum over time. And I have a really great illustration. When I decided that I was going to talk about momentum, there was one visualization that keeps coming to mind, and this might bring back a memory to you. So now I don't know about you, but I'm 67 years old, okay? Now, I'm not asking for everybody to tell me how old they are, but what I am saying is that this illustration of a couple of people pushing a car, to me, that looks like a 63 Cadillac with the wings off the back of the car. But I don't even know if they make cars with manual transmissions anymore. Do you know? So this happened a lot for me when I was a teenager. So I could never really afford a new car by any means. And so I always had kind of the junker, the clunker. I think I bought the worst vehicles of all time. I think I owned every single one of them. I owned a Pinto. I owned a Chevy Vega, right? I had a Corvair. Okay, so the Corvair and the Pinto were probably two of the least safe cars in the world. They would catch fire. Like a Pinto, if you ran into a Pinto, it might explode. The same thing with the Corvair. But often what would happen is my cars would die, right? Right there in the middle of an intersection. You guys ever have that happen? And so I would jump out of the car. I'm stuck in the intersection. And so I would put the car in neutral and I would open up the door and I would try to push the car out of the intersection. Inevitably, I'd have somebody jump out of their car. They'd pull over, jump out of their car, and they would help push. So somebody would come behind the car. Now, how this relates to momentum is, I don't know if you've ever had to push a car. The bigger the car, the harder it gets, it seems like. I'm sure this 63 Cadillac probably weighed about 8,000 pounds. And so when you're behind this car and you're trying to push it, it is really, really hard to get it moving. And then once you start getting it moving, maybe somebody joins you, so you get a little extra effort. But as you begin to push the car out of the intersection, pretty soon momentum carries that car, so that all of a sudden you can make one good push, and that car has enough energy and momentum to, on its own, roll itself out of the intersection. Now, here's the thing about momentum is what happens when you stop pushing the car. Guess what? Over time, the car will stop because it lacks for energy. The engine's not working, right? So there's the energy source, and we're not pushing it anymore. So the momentum will only carry us so far, and we will actually need to get back into action, continue to push, and continue to put energy behind moving that car down the road. Obviously, the best way to do that is to get the car fixed and get the car moving again. Denise made a comment. Let's see, what do you have here, Denise? I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to enlarge it a little bit because I can't read it so small. I always love it when I see strangers jump out of their own car to help someone else push theirs. Yep, that's exactly right. And I can tell you that over the course of my lifetime, Denise, I've pushed a lot of cars and I've helped a lot of people, because there's nothing worse than being stuck in an intersection. Everybody's honking, everybody's upset because they're stuck at the light and they had to, anyway. But momentum is really, really important. But just as important as momentum, and this is part of the topic today, is consistency. All right. So I love this picture. It's why I picked it this morning. Is three lovely ladies going for a walk. And one thing I know about people that love to go for a walk, as they do it each and every day, rain or shine, right out in front of our house, it's a walking path, and people are walking by all the time, walking their dogs. And it's the consistency over time that makes such a big difference, because it's not what we do once in a while that matters. It's what we do each and every day. So one of the things when we start talking about momentum is a lot of times when we start thinking about a goal, or we start thinking about what we want to accomplish, the goal seems to be so big and it's going to take so much effort that we tend to not get into action because we're not quite sure how to go about it, right? So we've been talking over the last couple of days about setting goals and visualization and getting into the small little baby steps that move you forward. That's exactly what we're talking about, is start small. Don't worry about, today setting a goal and tomorrow accomplishing it. That's probably not going to happen. That will frustrate you, but start small. It's the small little things that we do each and every day over time. So I would just encourage you to, if you're looking to set a goal, you're looking to kind of move life forward. So a lot of times this time of the year, we're talking a lot about health or financial goals. If it's a health goal that you're working on, hey, good morning, Cherie. If it's a health goal you're working on, start small. Start by maybe setting a goal to drink an extra glass of water, right? Or maybe you set a goal to go out and walk with the neighbors Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Maybe you're not ready or physically able to do it every day, or maybe you're not able to go very far. I remember having some clients early on in my health coaching days that literally were bound to the house because of their health. They were stuck in a chair. They never left the house. They didn't even go to the mailbox. So again, a little goal might be to get up out of the chair, go to the front door, open the door, and get out on the front porch. That's a small win. But you know what? Celebrate that win. Say, wow, look what I accomplished today. I got out of the chair and I opened up the door and I went out on the patio. Great job. Because if you don't celebrate those wins and you don't see it as progress, you're probably going to go back to sitting in the easy chair again. So start small, but think big. Say, look, today I'm getting out on the porch, but tomorrow I'm gonna walk out to the curb, and the following day I'm gonna walk down to the mailbox, and then next week I'm gonna begin walking down to the corner, and next thing you know, you're gonna be going not only down to the corner but around the block, and maybe walking a mile or two each and every day. But it all started with the decision to get out of the chair and go out and stand on the front porch, because it's so important to just get into motion. So often we let our thoughts and our fears block us from the desires that we have. And we think, well, we can't do that because, right? We start making excuses of why we aren't able to do it. I have arthritis in my right ankle. I was involved in an auto accident. It had nothing to do with the Pinto, everyone. But I was in an auto accident and I busted up my ankle, and I had four surgeries to put my ankle back together. And as a result, that was over 10 years ago. And as a result, I have pretty severe arthritis in my right ankle. So here's the issue. Have you heard the phrase, use it or lose it? Well, guess what? There are days when I go out in the yard and I do some work, and the very next day I'm struggling to walk. Now, if I let that struggle keep me from doing it, then I would be bound to my chair, bound to my house, and I wouldn't live the life that I want. So sometimes there might be a little pain along the way, but guess what? That pain is only temporary. And after a while, do you realize that in momentum, pretty soon you don't feel the pain. You don't notice it so much. In fact, sometimes Denise will say to me, "Oh, you're limping a little bit." And I go, "I am?" Well, when you're limping, it's because you had a little pain. So I don't even think of the pain anymore, because I see the benefit of getting out and moving that ankle, get the blood circulating, get the nerve endings, get those moving around so that pretty soon you don't have as much pain. And there was a time in my recovery where the pain was pretty severe. And there are times when I'll go out and I'll work 2 or 3 hours out in the yard. We live on a hill, and I'm, bringing stuff up and down the hill. And during the time that I'm doing the work, it doesn't seem to hurt so bad. The minute I sit down and I lose my momentum, I sit down and then it hurts. And then when I get up, I'm struggling to walk. So momentum is so, so important, because like I said, it's the little things that we do each and every day. So Cherie says, I have a hard time even cleaning my house because I have such bad sciatic pain. Okay. So, sciatica is very painful, and I totally get that, Cherie. And I think, both Cherie and I are in the health and wellness field, and we really understand the value of the little things over time. And so celebrate those things, celebrate the little wins. One way I get to celebrate is when I look at it in the yard and go, wow, look what I've accomplished, right? And sometimes if you're drinking an extra glass of water, that's what you're doing to do something extra to stay in motion and build momentum over time. Then celebrate the fact, say, man, I can't believe it. I drank a glass of water. Well, guess what? Tomorrow, now let's drink 2. And then 3, and ultimately get up to, about 90 to 100 ounces of water each and every day. Our body needs that. And, I think a lot about, this time of the year, people are going into the gym and, they haven't been working out for a while. Their muscles are a little flabby, and they go to the gym and they overdo it in the first few days of being in the gym. And next thing you know, they hurt themselves. What does that do? Momentum actually stops right then and there. We don't put any more energy into it. Pretty soon we go, well, maybe I'm not going to go to the gym anymore because it hurts too much. But if we got in momentum by just doing a little bit each and every day and worked up over time, we wouldn't hurt ourselves. I remember, at some point in my life, very early on, I think I was in high school. I'm short. I'm only 5'2", and I remember in my freshman year of high school, I got picked on a lot. And I got picked on a lot because a lot of my friends between the 8th grade and 9th grade all of a sudden shot up by 1.5 or 2 feet, and I didn't. I stayed the same. I've been 5'2" ever since the 8th grade. Actually, I think I'm shrinking now a little bit. But I remember saying, you know what, I'm getting picked on, but I don't want to be this little 125-pound weakling. So I started to work out. And back in the day, we didn't have all these gyms to work out. I don't even think our school had a gym, but we did a lot of calisthenics, right? And so I remember getting down in my bedroom and going every day doing push-ups. Okay, and I'm thinking, oh man, I could only do 5 or 6 push-ups, and sometimes when I'm working with clients, they can't even do one push-up yet. So we'll teach them how to do a baby push-up or push up against the wall instead of down on the ground, right? But you start with 1, and then the next day you do 2, and the next day you do 3. And I love the balloons. Hey, there you go ahead and plan that. But what happens is over time, you're doing hundreds of push-ups because you're building muscle, you're building strength, you're building confidence, you're building momentum, right? So as you start doing it, you start feeling better. You start seeing some results. Your pecs are getting big, your biceps and triceps are getting stronger. And over time, you get to create the results that you want. So Cherie says, I just have to pace myself and keep up with my physical therapy exercises. See, it's the momentum of doing it each and every day, or if you're doing physical therapy 2 or 3 days a week, it is over time where you build that strength and coordination again. And you're absolutely right, Cherie. It's so critical. So how do you sustain momentum long term? Well, we've been talking a little bit about that, and that is celebrate what it is you're accomplishing each and every day. We talked last week a little bit about right about the time you achieve a goal. So maybe your goal was to do 100 push-ups, and you finally start working up to 100 push-ups, and right before you get to being able to do that, then you set a goal and say, okay, well, now I want to start working on some pull-ups. Okay. And next thing you know, you're working out an hour to an hour and a half a day, building muscle, building strength, building your health, and improving your overall life. And so it's the little things that we do each and every day that make all the difference in the world. So let's see. I wrote down a couple of quick notes. One is I wanted to tell you that as you're working towards a goal and as you're accomplishing some wins. So maybe the win is you went out on the porch, or maybe the win was you finally made it to the mailbox. Really celebrate that, celebrate it, in a healthy way, of course. Don't go out and have a big piece of cheesecake and lose all the progress that you've made. But momentum is so important. But celebrating that each and every day, wow, look what I've accomplished. And I can share with you just a tip, and this has nothing to do with health. So in every aspect of life, towards the end of the day, grab a notepad and just do what I call a brain dump. Write down all the things that you're thinking about that are still on your mind, that maybe you accomplished. Maybe you've got that checklist and you're going through and review it and saying, okay, I got that done. I got that done. Didn't get that done. I need to add that to tomorrow's list. And then at the end of that, choose 2 or 3 things that are really critical to getting done tomorrow. And grab a 3x5 card, grab a little sticky note, and write down on there the 2 or 3 things that you really want to accomplish in the next day. Because by being aware of all the things that you did accomplish, you get to celebrate and say, wow, I got a lot done today. Here's the 10 things that were on my list. I got 7 of them done. These are things I've been putting off for a long time. Now I've got them done. Look at the results. Look at the things that I'm able to accomplish when I focus. Remember our weekly focus? When you focus in on those things and you are reminded of the things that you've done and you celebrate those and you turn right around and make some new goals, guess what? You're going to look back at the end of the week and say, wow, this was a really, really productive week. But I can tell you there are weeks in life when you look back and you say, man, I let my life get into automatic pilot. I got up, I got dressed, I went to work, I came home, I ate dinner, I watched TV, I went to bed. I get up, I get dressed, I go to work. In other words, we get into this automated response that doesn't really serve us very well. And so I would just say, as we're going into 2025, really think about what it is you want to accomplish and to develop some really simple strategies, some really simple things that you can do each and every day that actually make that happen. So I think it was, I don't know, about 8 or 9 episodes, maybe even 20 episodes ago, we talked a little bit about breaking the routine, right? And here's a really good example. This is right out of the material we use to coach our clients. And that is that often there is something that triggers a response, right? So if every time you sit in the easy chair and you turn on the TV, that behavior stimulates a hunger response for ice cream and popcorn, because that's what you've always done, is to sit down, watch TV, have popcorn and ice cream, then guess what? That chair and turning on that TV becomes a trigger or a cue. And so in order to break the habit of doing that, you need to change the cue. So in many cases, you might move the chair, right? You might unplug the TV. So if you want to turn the TV on, you got to unplug it before you turn the button on, right? So as you change the cue and you break the trigger, then you get to establish a new routine. And so Dr. Anderson, who wrote an amazing book called The Life Book and the Habits of Health, talks a lot about the routine in the bedroom. And so the cue is I go in, I get into bed, and I turn on the TV. And so that cue of getting into bed and turning on the TV creates a routine that in many cases doesn't produce a reward. It actually means that we're going to stay up too late. We're not going to get a good night's rest. Our brain is going to be so stimulated from everything that we watch that we're not going to get a good night's rest, and we're not going to be very refreshed in the next day. So Dr. Anderson recommends get the TV out of the bedroom. So as you begin to do that, then you go to bed, you might read a little bit, put the book down, get a good night's rest. So you've changed the routine, you've changed the trigger, you've changed the routine, and now you get an instant reward. The instant reward is you sleep better, you feel better, you have more energy. And if you do that over time and you develop momentum and consistency, then you create a long-term investment, and the benefit is lifelong. So that's really what I wanted to share today, a little bit about momentum and really establishing a new routine. And I wanted to just share with you, many of you know that Denise and I were coaches. We help people lose weight, get healthy, develop new habits, focus on long-term habits that produce lifelong results of being happy and healthy and more energy. So I wanted to share this. I was thinking about momentum, and I was thinking about all of the clients that we've worked with over the years. I think we've impacted over the lives of 30,000 people in the last 18 years of coaching. We've literally personally coached over 1,000. We're probably getting close to 2,000 people by now. And I started looking at a graphic. In fact, Denise is in the upper right-hand corner. I'm right next to her, the guy in the middle, top row. All of these people made a decision to change their routine because the routine that they had wasn't serving them very well. When you're overweight and unhealthy and on a bunch of medication, not sleeping at night, shoving a CPAP on each and every night, life changes, right? Because we've made decisions that have led to us being unhealthy. And as we begin to make a decision to get healthy and small little baby steps over time, it's not what you do once in a while, it's what you do over time consistently as you build what? Momentum. And so the difference between the before and after in all of these pictures and the thousands of people that we've worked with over the years, the difference is that they have been consistent over time and built habits that lead them to being healthy. And I was thinking about a football analogy, right? I don't know about you. Sometimes when you're watching football, so let me change away from that. So when you're watching football, have you ever been watching a sporting event and your team is like killing it, man? They're like marching down the field, man. They're doing all the passes. They have an interception. Everything is going their way. It's called momentum. And what happens is when a team is performing at a high level and they are seeing the results, meaning the score is running up and they're beating their opponent, what does that do with their psyche? That changes their psyche that says, okay, we got this. We are going to make things happen. And guess what? Players get better. Players focus. Players have all this adrenaline and energy, and bam, they are on it. Okay, so what happens? Your kicker gets down there and misses a field goal. Oh, man. All right, so the next time you have the ball and you're getting ready to throw it downfield, somebody steps in and intercepts the ball. So the other team now has what? They have the momentum. The game shifted. And next thing you know, your team loses the game because the momentum didn't carry them through to the end. The momentum shifted, and momentum can shift fairly easily in everything in life. Things may be going really great for you, and then all of a sudden, somebody very, very close to you passes away, and it rocks your world. This person meant a lot to you. They were very instrumental in the development of your life, and they mean a lot to you. Generally, a family member, a close family member, are the ones that shake us the most. That impacts our life and the lives of everybody around us forever. But sometimes it can be very debilitating if we break that momentum and we do not stay in motion at building the life that we want. And so part of staying focused on building the life that you want is being aware that there are going to be situations that come up that are catastrophic, that alter the direction of your life forever. But it starts by saying, okay, these things are going to happen. That's kind of the way life goes. As somebody passes away, guess what? A new child is born. As something happens in life, there's always kind of a counter to it. And so I think, and I don't want to end the call on a downer, but I want to say that do not let the catastrophic events in life take away the life that you were meant to live, because it is still the consistency over time. So what are you going to do on your worst day? And if you get up in the morning and you have a good breakfast and you have a good glass of water and you get out and go for a walk to clear your head, maybe you go spend some private time, maybe you go meet up with a friend or a family member, but do something that moves you forward as you begin to focus on rebuilding part of your life. We talk a lot about, all of the results and the rewards and things like that, but there are things that happen in life that we just don't have any control over. But the one thing that we can control is how we react and what happens moving forward. So, I'm going to kind of end like this, and that is, over the course of the 71 weeks that we have been working on the weekly focus, most everything that we talk about has something to do with one of these 6 core macronutrients or macro habits of health. And we do talk a little bit about weight and weight management, certainly eating right, getting a good night's rest, eating every 2 to 3 hours, balancing blood sugars, being physically active. All those things are really key. So weight management is important, eating healthy and hydrating, being physically active, getting a good night's rest, and having good habits of healthy mindset. That is probably the most underestimated part of this cycle is our mindset. Our mindset really controls a little bit about what we do each and every day and how we respond and react. And we're going to talk about that in the next couple of weeks, is how important it is to have a good, healthy mindset and have a mechanism to help you break through the obstacles, the challenges that happen in life, and stay focused on what it is you're trying to create. And then, of course, creating good habits of surrounding, having your refrigerator and pantry stocked with good, healthy foods, surrounding yourself with positive people that lift you up, that make you better, that bring you joy. We've said that it's the five people that we hang around with most that really determine our overall life accomplishments and health. And so think about that. Who are the five people that you're surrounding yourself with? Are they in line with you and your goals, or are they counterproductive? Are they dragging you down? Are they sucking away your energy and positivity? And so as we go into the next couple of episodes, we're going to talk a lot about mindset and overcoming obstacles and how to break through these challenges that happen in life. But today's message is all about creating momentum. So what I would love for you to be able to do this week, as we go into, we're getting in towards the end of January. As we start getting into the end of January, what I'd like you to really do is establish momentum and consistency in just a couple of areas that will impact your life. Don't make these things big, make them small, but create a list of things that you want to do this week that will help you build momentum. I love starting with drinking a glass of water, going for a short walk. Maybe it's making a list of things that need to get done in and around the house, and maybe you knock off one or two of those things this week. Spring cleaning is coming right up. I know Denise has been organizing her office. A couple of weeks ago, I got some free filing cabinets from an office that was shutting down, and I reorganized my garage. So there are things that can happen. And now every time I pull in my garage and I look at those filing cabinets, I go, wow, look what I accomplished. There's a lot of things that you can accomplish each and every day if you set your mind to it. And the only one that's holding you back is you. There's nobody else. I mean, obviously there are situations that happen and they can alter the course of what happens today and tomorrow. But you know what? Don't let these situations dictate the life that you're trying to create. So with that, I'm just going to say, thanks for being a part of our weekly focus. Hopefully you've found value today as we've been talking about momentum and consistency. We have a free daily habit assessment where you can evaluate your habits in each area of life: finances, health, fitness, relationships. Feel free to come and visit our daily habit assessment. You can do it at habits.yourweeklyfocus.com. We have an amazing newsletter that goes out each and every week. You can scan the QR code and sign up to receive our weekly newsletter, or go to newsletter.yourweeklyfocus.com. And so our closing quote of the week is: everything you do is triggered by an emotion of either fear or desire. Think about that. Everything you do and everything that happens in life is triggered by an emotion of either desire or fear. Don't let fears dictate the direction of your life. Establish desire, establish a goal, establish a mindset of what you want your life to look like, and get into motion each and every day. So with that, I want to say, hey, thank you for all of you that have been joining me live. It's been fun interacting with each and every one of you. For those of you that are listening to this in replay, feel free to use the comments. I look at every comment and I respond to every question in the comments of our posts, either over on Facebook or over on YouTube. Feel free to join our YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/@ Russ McCann and find us over there on YouTube, or over on Facebook. You could just go to Your Weekly Focus and visit our Facebook page, where there's a whole library of all of our previous calls. So guess what? Episode 71 is in the books, and I want to say thank you. Cherie, you and your family have an amazing weekend as well. And with that, you guys go out and do something. Do something that'll impact your life moving forward this week. I can't wait to hear how things have gone this week. And join me again next Friday, 10 o'clock, for another episode of Your Weekly Focus. Bye, everyone.